Here's a story that'll make you more depressed than finding out that Finding Nemo was a plagiarized story created by a 5-year-old who had received no credit. Thousands of Palestinians were swept up in Israeli arrest campaigns. Now, despite the fact that the mainstream media is no longer talking about the Palestinians, I will continue to talk about it because it is important. One specific detail that'll feel like an unconsensual haymaker to the back of the head is that according to the Palestinian Prisoners Association, in May 2021, at least 3,100 Palestinians in the West Bank, Jerusalem, and the 1948 occupied territories were arrested during random and organized Israeli arrest campaigns. Not to continue to pour salt on your wounds or kick sand in your jelly beans, but if you're sitting here thinking, Christ on a cracker, why are there so many arrests? Well, approximately 2,000 of the arrests were followed after the mass protests against the Israeli raids on the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the eviction of the Palestinian residents in East Jerusalem. Last fact about the story that's crucially important, also a little eerie, is the fact that according to an individual named Adamir, who was one of the prisoners in the Palestinian detention centers, the forms of torture and ill treatment employed against Palestinian prisoners include beatings, tying prisoners in, quote, stress positions, interrogation sessions that last up to 12 consecutive hours, which would include depriving prisoners of sleep and other sensory deprivation, isolation, and solitary confinement, as well as threats against the lives of their relatives. Wow, that sounds very humane. Though skeptics might say this is one interview from one individual who had potentially fabricated the entire story, what we can ultimately say is that there's inhumane treatment of Palestinians in prison camps, which is why Palestinian prisoners occasionally die for unknown causes within the detention centers themselves. Please like and comment on stories like this in order to increase the algorithm. Because of the fact that mainstream media outlets in the United States is no longer covering these stories, however, I will continue to cover it because it is important for accountability. If you would like longer stories like this, please support independent media by checking out my YouTube channel, The Zach Moss Show, or go to my Rockfin at The Zach Moss Show as well. Thank you.